welcome to episode 103 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, a place for all your geeky needs on bigredbarrel.com. My name is Alex, I'm a self-appointed baroness of butts, and I'm also the host for this episode. As you can tell, because it's me, Alex, speaking at you, Lauren is not here. In fact, Lauren is away working at Insomnia, so go Lauren, well done, that sounds awesome. I'm quite actually jealous. I do have some sad news following that, because Jo is not here either, because Jo is doing some awesome stuff too. She is doing this weekend, she's doing 24-hour gaming marathon for Special Effects, which is a great charity. If you would like to donate to the charity and to Special Effects and support Jo and her Monkey Tail podcast friends, there'll be a link in the description below that I'll leave to their Just Given page. But following that, I do have some good news.
There's someone who isn't doing anything interesting this week. Lo and behold!
Hey! It's my twisted sister! It's Jungle Jester Harley Quinnage Julia! What the hell is going on with your name?
I don't know, you wrote it!
No, I didn't! There was Jungle Jester, and then their things just appeared at the back of it.
Harley Quinnage? Quinnage.
Why do I feel like Quinnage is something disturbing and sexual and perverse?
I don't know! It would make sense.
By the way, guys, that's it. That's just the two of us. So if you were watching Cookies and Booze at some point, yeah, you know what is gonna happen with the two of us here on the episode.
Do you have your wine prepared?
I have a beer.
And I've got a Malibu with some mango juice.
Jesus, you fancy.
I know, right?
Okay, let's get on with it. So we start with our time waster of the week, and I'm gonna introduce a YouTube channel that I did actually talk about, but that was on the last episode, and now there's no one here to stop me talking about it again, and Julia hasn't heard that episode, so should probably be interesting for her.
Yes.
And you guys haven't heard it, so probably be interesting for you. Who knows? So anyway, so this YouTube channel is called Just Right, and it is created by Sage Hayden, and he does videos that are about fundamentals of storytelling. And they're not so much about the technique, well, there's some technique in there, but it's mostly examining the characters, the story bits, the narrative versus plot devices. It's a really, really great channel. And I mean, it immediately endeared me because it has 5 video series on why Hobbit sucks. And then I'm right there with you.
I am sold. That does not sound like a time waster, though. It sounds like you can actually learn from it.
No. It is so good. So, like, just because, again, I'm biased, some of the things that suck about Hobbit, the dwarves, tensionless action, unresolved plot lines, bad romance, I feel like all those things suck.
Wait, there's a romance in there?
Oh yeah, apparently between the Elfie and the...
Oh, the elf that was written
the Elfie Evangeline, whatever her name is, and between the Elfie Orlando Bloom and one of the dwarves whose name I don't know about, no.
Some of the dwarves were pretty hot, like, I'll just leave that there. I think that is the only credit that this film gets. Also the fact that the dragon is voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumbersnatch. Do you think I need to bleep that in
no.
the episode? The other one, and it's apt for some of the things we're going to be talking about further in this episode, it has an episode on Death Note, how to write binge-worthy television, which is a great... I think I mentioned this video before with writers should learn from Christopher Nolan. Like, this one is so interesting. It's about the structure of the movie and why the structure of the first Batman really, really works. Like, thematically and character-wise and position-wise between the villains and all that kind of stuff. Like, it was really, really good. Like, a really eye-opening moment. And another video on what writers should learn from Wonder Woman. It's great. It's just really great content. I mean, it's one of those channels. As soon as I stop being a poor student, I'm actually gonna go and back him on Patreon because that, and I never back anyone on Patreon, but that's how good his work is.
Okay, I have subscribed. What is, wow, there's an actual series for Why Hobbit Sucks. I don't need to watch it, I can make the series. That's so sad, I loved the book.
I can rant about it forever, but I'm just not good as... I'm not as good as backing my points of view as he is. Like, he's really good.
Okay, well, I will check it out. This sounds fantabulous. Is there anything else to waste time on this week?
Are you talking about another time waster or about the new segment?
I don't know. New segment. I'm just wondering if there's other time wasters. I feel like I've got plenty of time wasters, like going through photos of Trump looking at the sun. That was my time waster.
I'm sorry. I think I'll find something more useful to do today.
But it's so entertaining.
Or listening to Trump.
No.
Thinking about Trump.
It's just one image that encompasses what he is.
Oh, I know what he is.
Don't do that thing that is very damaging. Okay.
Did you see that there's a picture on Twitter that's captioned, "This is our president, vice president." There's a Trump looking at the sun and Mike Pence touching something that says, "Do not touch." So good.
Wow, well, good times. The world is ending.
Yay.
Moving on to the news segment, not segment.
Well, yeah, okay, so this is something we're gonna try to introduce to the show, guys. This is new Geek Speak time.
Speaking of fake news.
Or real news, unfortunately. But anyway, let me rephrase that, because I want to give a little explanation to what it is. So we're gonna introduce the news segment to Geek Speak. Now, when I say news, I want to be really specific. There's so many topics we cover on Geek Speak. It's actually pretty easier to say what we don't cover. So if we cover all news relating to the variety of topics we cover, this podcast is going to be like 50 hours long. So we can't do that. And I also feel like peeps at Big Red Barrel UK do such a great job covering video gaming news already on a weekly basis in quite a good detail. There's not really a point for us retracing their steps and doing the same thing. So what our newly introduced news segment is us taking a couple of headlines from here and there, something that really interests us and that we want to talk about on that show. And maybe sometimes we'll repeat some of the video gaming news, sometimes it's going to be just movie news, sometimes it's going to be board game news, kind of whatever floats our boat that week. But we kind of want to try this out. And obviously, if you're listening, you have a news topic that you really want us to talk about, you can, tweet us at our personal Twitters at @destitute_, at the Sweet Shrimp, and at Pixel Ritual, or at the Bigger Barrel account, or just write it in the show notes for any episode, and we will try to include that in the show. So with that out of the way, this is kind of the news topics that me and Julia compiled for this week, and after I've completed them, I realized they're quite apt for both of us. It's like I tailored them.
They are perfect.
Julia is coming. This is what I'm going to talk about. So the first one, apparently there is a Joker origin story in the works.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about this.
By the most unlikeliest producer ever. So it's going to be directed by Hangover's Todd Phillips, produced, wait for it, by Martin Scorsese, and co-written by Phillips and Scott Silver. And Scott Silver did 8 Mile, The Fighter, and The Finest Hour. I mean, how crazy is this list?
That, it could either be fantastic or an absolute train wreck. And considering how Suicide Squad went, it's more likely to be a train wreck. But I'm curious. My curiosity is piqued.
I mean, another thing about it, apparently it's supposed to be set in early 1980s, and it's not going to be Jared Leto's Joker, it's going to be someone younger.
Okay, that is strange.
I know, right? But I mean, one of the main questions that we really have to ask ourselves about it, did we really need that? Did we need a Joker origin story?
Do we need any form of entertainment? Are we going into philosophy here? Yes, we need the Joker.
We do need the Joker, but do we really need to know everything about the Joker?
Yeah, that's the question.
But do we really need everything explained to us? Isn't some mystery good?
Yeah, and that's the thing about the Joker, which was most appealing of all the villains. Like, he isn't supposed to have an obvious past. He's got so many canonical/non-canonical origin stories. Every comic book thread picks up and drops as they see fit. So, okay, set in the 80s, it would be interesting because if it's continuing the Suicide Squad story, or,
No, it's not continuing Suicide. It's completely different from wherever DC Cinematic Universe is going currently.
Okay, well, but because that would be actually quite interesting because they're taking Joker. Joker was always like this kind of 30s gangster, and their take was very like a gang member, very much like a Mexican cartel gang member, and seeing that from the 80s would be pretty interesting, but like I have no idea how they're going to combine that with a comic book story. Then again, let's see. Maybe they'll wow us. I remain optimistic. It's very strange. Very strange.
I mean, looking from the point of view that he was kind of a gangster type, right? Martin Scorsese kind of makes a little bit more sense because his movies and his takes are a little bit that way leaning anyway.
Yeah.
So as much as that is a bizarre pick, that also kind of makes sense.
No, it all makes sense except the fact that it's a Joker movie. It makes sense in terms of The Hangover being a little bit crazy and you know, The Hangover has those weird like dark takes on Bangkok and all the places where they filmed it. So it's cool and it has like a crazy spin on it, but like crazy to the comic book level crazy, to the Joker level crazy, which establishes all other crazies. Yeah, I don't know. It's making me somewhat uncomfortable, but also very curious.
I mean, again, the big question is going to be who they're going to cast as Joker, because I feel like they're setting themselves up for a failure, because people kind of migrate between, I mean, Jack Nicholson is pretty much in the mix, but it's Heath Ledger or Mark Hamill who are the Jokers of the Joker. And then whoever you kind of put against them, they're bound to lose because they're so beloved and so well known that, I mean, as far as it bless Jared Leto, I think he really tried, but he never stood a chance.
Jared Leto was... I don't want to defend him.
Passable.
Yeah, he was passable. Like, I think he... I enjoyed his take on the Joker because it fit that universe. As the Joker out of context, as the Joker we know and love, nah mate. But I liked the stylization. I liked the fact that he was just really psychotic gang leader kind of thing. Personally, and this is really revolutionary here, I'm not a huge fan of Heath Ledger.
No, neither am I.
Oh my god,
Mark Hamill is my Joker.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean that's why we are because we don't like Heath Ledger's Joker.
Stylistically, everything, but like he's chaotic. I see his point of view and like that. Laughing at the world's madness, but on the other hand, I feel like the Joker is meant to be a little bit more psychotic, and he's always been portrayed that way, and not like disgruntled psychotic. Heath Ledger's Joker came closest when he was dressed up as a nurse skipping away from the blowing up hospital.
Yeah, I bet you love that scene.
I could talk about that forever. Moving on.
But yeah, basically that's the news. Like it, dislike it, that's what apparently is happening. For reading this news, I found out that apparently there is a Harley Quinn spin-off that I feel quite hopeful about, and, another Joker movie.
It's being produced by Margot Robbie, isn't it, as well? So, let's see what happens.
Yeah.
She's an ambitious young lady. I can very much respect that, yes.
As the best thing about Suicide Squad, I am tentatively interested.
I think, Suicide Squad, like, the biggest failure about it was it was two films badly edited into one. Really badly edited into one.
Don't get me started.
It could have been one happy little, like, Marvel-esque take on it, or it could have been the dark and gritty DC universe as we all know and love. No, they decided to mash it up because people reacted well to the happy trailers.
Anyway, let's move on from this sad time for Suicide Squad. And move on to something possibly even sadder, and hello to my dog that is probably gonna get picked up on the mic, which is not my dog, it's a neighbor's dog, but, it barks enough that I call it my dog. Anyway, this next point in the agenda that we have is a Death Note live action, the new American one, is actually coming to Netflix this Friday, 25th. And, well, among other things, it's gotten some poor reviews. Surprise, surprise, it's not set in Japan, it's settled in Seattle, which is interesting. And probably the only thing that actually kind of makes me excited about the show is that our favorite Rook is played by William Dafoe.
Oh, he was born for that role.
He
doesn't need makeup.
No, he's perfect for Rook, but everything else seems really bad. Kind of put this as a news item because I'll probably try to watch it, but I'm not sure if it's bad. I'll be able to get through all of it. Because Death Note has a very special place in my heart.
I'm actually quite curious to see how it's going, because I got very tired of the anime.
Yeah, you kind of need to watch halfway point.
Yes.
After the death of a certain someone, you might as well stop.
To me, the live-action Japanese films were the peak of Death Note. Well, aside from the manga, which is gorgeous. But yeah, the films were fun. The films were actually really, really fun and did great justice to the manga. The anime, I loved the way it was animated, the way it was directed, but it kept dragging on and on and on. So I'm kind of hoping that Netflix cuts that down a bit. And
well, I think it's very different, right? Because from what I understand, Mia's Shinigami is not even there. Well, what's the name of the other Shinigami? I'm sorry, I'm blanking
I don't
out.
remember.
I've not seen Death Note in a while. Is it Ren? Something N?
It's been too long. I have de-animated.
I know. We're really sorry for forgetting the name of the other Shinigami, but I think the story between Light and Mia are completely different in this new live action.
I think they're just going to be concentrating on, from what I understood from the trailers, was I think they're just going to concentrate on Light in a modern American setting where, pardon my ignorance, but like that whole dramatic take on school shootings. Like, what if the guy didn't need a gun kind of thing and decided to see, and those kind of power-hungry teenagers taking justice into their own hands and drama. So, I mean, from that perspective, it could be kind of interesting. I hope that they just decide to go and take the Death Note, take Ryuk, and place it somewhere entirely differently, and not try to halfway imitate the original Death Note, because that's where everything fails, when it's like half-assed this, half that.
Death Note is such a Japanese story.
Yeah.
It is set in a very Japanese environment. I'm gonna mention it because it will sound stupid not mention it, but I'm not sure to what extent they took that core story and just put it in an American setting, or to what extent they just whitewashed the original story.
We'll find out.
And I have a strong feeling that it is the second, that they just went through complete whitewashing of it and never really took clearly to consider why it has been specifically in that Japanese setting, and why that setting was actually very important to the story as well.
I still remain optimistic because so far Netflix has done justice to most things, because they...
Have you seen Defenders?
No, actually, I have not. But, from what I hear, the biggest problem is with the white guy.
Heyo!
So, well, can't really blame them there. But yeah, no, so far, like, things like what we're going to touch upon a bit later, other TV shows, they've been good. They go about their own things, and also, they plan shows out in a way that makes them binge-worthy.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black would never work as a standalone show. You would not watch the second episode if you had to wait for a week.
Probably not, yeah. I mean, that's a whole different binge-watching Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. culture that, is a completely different topic.
But it helps translate anime, so I'm kind of hoping that they will use that and translate it better with that and not just whitewash it. But once again, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'll definitely try to watch it and probably talk about it on kind of further episodes of Geek Speak at some point. I won't be able to stay away. I'm not even cautiously optimistic about that one. I'm kind of just hoping it's not as bad as everyone says it is. But I could have more Death Note in my life. I could always use with a dose of Death Note once every couple of years. I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, why not? But most importantly, from our favorite serial killers, there are rumors that something else is coming back. Something that gets me very, very excited.
The Hannibal might return!
Squee! Hannibals all over the world, rejoice!
But it's at least 4 to 5 years away, right?
I don't care. If it exists in the world, I don't care. It's just yes. Brian Fuller is he's gained more traction now with American dogs, American Gods, stylistically and everything, and I think that he might actually succeed with this. It's going to be amazing if he does.
I mean, what they talked about when the show got cancelled by, remind me, who was the network that cancelled them?
Oh,
NBC, right?
Was it?
Yeah, NBC.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they said that they might revisit the show in a couple of years when the Silence of the Lambs license will run out, which is where it ran out right about now. So now one of the producers on the show, sorry for butchering your name, but Martha De Laurentiis, she's the one that's currently in talks. Now, they began talks, but as I said, it's about many years, well, not many years, but a couple of years away because these things don't happen fast. But apparently Matt Mikkelsen's already happy to join back, and what's the guy's name?
Something Will. The husband of Claire Danes. There we go.
There we go. No one cares. Matt Mickelsen's in that show. Who
here's
cares
your
about
reverse
that guy?
sexism. The husband of Claire Danes, that one. I'll remember it. Was it Hugh Dancy?
Yes! There you go, Hugh Dancy, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, they're set to come back, but yeah, I think it's unlikely that they'll return to NBC, but as you said, with the traction of American Gods, any streaming service will be fighting to get the Hannibal, to come to them, whether that's Amazon or Netflix or Hulu or whatever other streaming services there are out there.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, I think, Netflix has the first 2 seasons, I believe, of Hannibal. First 1 or 2 seasons. At least in UK.
Does it?
Yeah. So hopefully they can pick it up then. They've recognized that it's a good thing. Good for them.
Yeah. You and Jo are very, very happy.
Yes.
That's all I know.
I have many reaction gifs for this. Oh man, Netflix. I hope it's Netflix because, I'm just so happy with Glow and everything they've been doing recently.
I mean, there's a lot of trash on Netflix that we just kind of try to avoid.
I don't know. I've seen quite a bit Netflix exclusives and stuff. I know what to expect of them now. They've established a style for themselves. So actually, now that I'm talking halfway through it, I think Amazon is more likely to pick up Hannibal.
Yeah, I mean they picked up American Gods.
Yeah.
So Brian Fuller already worked for them before, and that has been hugely successful, I think.
Yeah, but then it's going to be a question of moving Hannibal. Never mind. We don't know this.
Yeah, we're just making stuff up at this point.
Pretty much.
But yeah, anyway, good news. Hannibal might be back.
Yay!
Okay, so let's get onto our topics. And it is something that, personally, I also don't give a flying F about. But you're apparently really crazy about Crash Bandicoot.
I am, because
Is it nostalgia?
Yes, it is nostalgia. Why should you care? Well, I'm not going to sell it very well. You don't have to care, but it's fun. It's an old school platformer that, first of all, it's a Naughty Dog classic.
Okay, that explains a lot to me. I think you say Naughty Dog is like catnip.
Oh, no. This is I was gaming since very early on, so I had a PS1 and one of the first games that back then, and I remember getting annoyed with it back then, but the case right now is, it's impossible! Let's see how they remastered it, and then you realize that they remastered it, it looks pretty, but you can't move. I mean, you can move, and you're moving too well, and you're jumping off platforms, and when you're intending to jump onto them, and you're falling to your death continuously, and then you sit there and you question whether it's your reactions that have just faltered with time, or whether you're just going crazy, and then you discover...
Gotten old, man, gotten old.
Yeah, and then you discover that apparently no, it's the fact that they've transported it to, the controls have been much less sensitive, and if you look at the animation back then and, compared to the current capture, it's fascinating. It's actually fascinating, but it doesn't explain why we're failing at everything. Because apparently, they sped up the animation of the jump, but only, a fraction, and it's not supposed to be that effective. The other thing is, I don't know if they changed the surface area of the platforms that you're jumping onto. That might be the issue. If they've made it more concise and more attached to the objects, as opposed to you had invisible boxes around things back in the day. I don't know, man. It's really bothering me. It's really bothering me.
But I mean, is it one of those games where it's hard and you find it challenging, or it's one of those games that it's hard and it's frustrating and you want to throw a controller on the screen, at the screen?
I don't know. I'm not the type of person to ever want to throw the controller at the screen. I'm assuming that most people would find it frustrating, throw a controller at screen, or at least some, because it is. Yeah, I've been swearing at the TV for a while now. I'm stuck on the same...
So why are you still playing it?
I don't know! I don't know, because it's no, I can do it. I can do it this time. I can do it this time. I'm dead again. 3 hours later. No, I can do it this time. I swear I'm gonna do it this time. It's that kind of thing. It's I don't know. It's repetitive as but, I don't know. It's still really satisfying when you actually achieve it.
But I mean, is it worth doing this in a span of 3 games?
The games are pretty short, to be honest. So, like, if you get good, you'll be fine.
What's that?
If you get good, you'll be fine, I suppose, because I think I'm by the end of the first game, but I am stuck on one level for a while. That being said, I don't play like every day, so I'll definitely finish it.
All right.
Because I can't proceed with Uncharted's Lost Legacy without finishing this. And
well, hang on. Isn't Uncharted Lost Legacy like available now?
Yes.
So you're gonna wait until you beat Crash Bandicoot before you begin your first and the biggest love of all time?
Yes.
What happened to you?
I'm always a completionist, dude.
I mean, you can play them at the same time and switch from one to another.
No, you see, what's gonna happen if I get Uncharted is I'm gonna play it for 3 days straight, and then maybe cry for a week, and then possibly move on with my life and never remember Crash Bandicoot ever again. Because that is what happens if I leave a game.
Alright.
That being said, I'm also playing Diablo 3 right now in co-op, so who knows?
Yeah, but Diablo 3 is like, it's such a really fun, it's like eating a popcorn. You're sitting there, it's like, do I want this popcorn? Do I not want this popcorn? Then
I don't care, I'm still gonna eat this popcorn.
And then you sit down and you're like, God damn it, this popcorn! I can't stop eating it. I'm full, but I'm still in it. It's so much fun.
It is.
It's like you can just keep playing it.
Man, I feel like they really need to do more couch co-op. Like, it's one of the other like incredibly appealing things about Diablo is the couch co-op aspect. I wish Uncharted was co-op.
I mean, they really could have done that with the two protagonists this time round for Lost Legacy.
They always, this is the thing, they usually have 2 characters on screen in all the games. You usually have a companion. So technically, yes, you could have done it, but on the other hand, like
But I mean, it's a really cinematic experience as well. Would you want to divide the screen?
Oh,
or
not
battle
divide,
with all...
not divide, but like that poses like a question of like, would you want to limit people's exploration ability while they're in the same space together, and so that you don't have to zoom out the camera? Because if somebody runs ahead of you and you're exploring something in the back, like if you're co-oping, then you've got a problem. Somebody can rush you ahead. So like I think they're taking storytelling over the co-op gameplay.
Yeah, but that's what they're all about. They're more about story than anything else.
Obviously. Also, on the other hand, like, just add some co-op! and not online, not split screen, couch. Let me point that out, couch. Wouldn't that be amazing? Or at least like some modes or like levels that you can have someone join in.
But yeah, you give Crash Bandicoot thumbs up. You recommend? For the lovers of nostalgia and lovers of platforming alike.
Yes, I would. If you like a challenge, but like challenge. If you hate yourself and have too much spare time on your hands, sure, go for Crash Bandicoot. No, it is nostalgia. I'm not gonna oversell it. Like you could live your life without playing it, I suppose. I'm pretty sure, or at least I hope, that they will also release the remasters on possibly not PlayStation, but on like all sorts of Vitas and other portable devices in the future. That would be, like, I'm pretty sure that they already exist in some form or another, but that specific remaster would be cool as a portable game.
Let me put it this way. Vita is dead, but moving on from that point. Would you recommend that to someone who's never played Crash Bandicoot before? Would you be like, yeah, that's a thing you should play?
It depends what kind of games they're into.
Well, I mean, if they're like platformers fans, I guess, like...
Yeah, if you're into
Mario
platformers,
and stuff like that.
Definitely. If you're into platformers, absolutely. It's a bit different from all the other nostalgia platformers. Yeah, it's much more challenging. I cannot stress enough how freaking hard it is. Your timing needs to be impeccable.
Cool. So, guys, we are done for the topics for this episode. That's it. We usually do shoutouts in this section, but because we're recording just after we released our latest episode and we don't have that many shoutouts, I'm gonna wait till the next episode and shout out everyone in a nice big bulk, so that'll be all nice. Having said that, if you would like to chat with us, you can do so on bigredbarrel.com. You can also do this on Facebook, facebook.com/bigredbarrel. You can also do that on Facebook, facebook.com/bigredbarrel. We also have Big Red Barrel Gamer Nights group on Facebook that you can join, and there'll be a link to that in the description below. You can also chat to us on Twitter at Big Red Barrel using hashtag Geek Speak. Always helps us to find your tweets. You can also speak to us directly. I'm at DustyTulip_.
And I am at Lady_Jeanette. Frequently tweeting at Dusty Tulip, so you might see me popping up there.
But you probably do. Our episodes also come out on YouTube, so Big Red Barrel TV on YouTube, there's a link there, so if for some reason, say your work is blocking gaming websites and so on, or something like that, you can always go on YouTube and get that podcasting fix for the week. Also, guys, iTunes, no one uses them anymore, but if you do, a review would be much appreciated because that does help our podcast to reach more listeners. Now, as I said, the new segment is something very different that we are doing, and hopefully we're going to continue doing once, Lauren and Jo come back. So let us know whether you think that's a good idea, something you enjoy, any topics you would like to discuss. Send us messages. We would love to hear from you about that. And again, the reminders that Tuesday is a Fact Tuesday, and every Tuesday we have Tabletop Tuesday. Which happens at Loading Bar in Dilston in London. Every week we bring a new feature game, and if you play that feature game in the night, you have a chance to win it by the end of the night. The game for next week is going to be King Frog. I've reviewed that game. I gave it 4 out of 5. It is one of those real gems of a kids game that is fun for adults. And it's a kids game in everything. You look at the box, it looks kiddish. You look at the components, it looks kiddish. At the artwork, you look kiddish. But behind that kids game, there's actually something really competitive and really strategic. Anyone can play it. Anyone can play it. But you can also really play it. So
good wording.
I know, right? I'm speaking on the podcast. I'm a professional, yo. I know how to phrase what I want.
I know how to word.
I know how to word. Man.
Language, good. And if you're not one for going out or do not live in London, you can join us on our stream every other Sunday. Unfortunately, not the next.
Whenever Julia show up.
Whenever Julia's not traveling. And say hi in the chat. Join in for some top bants as we drink wine and crash cars into things.
Hump rocks.
Yes,
we're big fans of humping rocks with those cars, yo.
At the moment, we're playing Mass Effect Andromeda, which unfortunately there will not be any more updates for. And you can catch up on our previous streams on YouTube or Twitch itself.
Yeah, I think the VODs are saved for 3 months or something like that there, but I download them before. Ooh, I might need to do that. Yeah, I upload them to YouTube as well, so that's where you can catch up with that. Our previous playthroughs if you missed up any.
Previous playthroughs, which I would highly recommend, would be Until Dawn.
Oh yeah.
Woe is me.
I think I did. Okay, so the Until Dawn story, I feel like we need to return to this. So you had a little crush on the character called Mike, and you were super protective.
Don't
wait.
it!
It's fine, they know characters die, right? So you were protective of Mike, and unfortunately he died despite your protectiveness. And so when Until Dawn was on PS Plus, I went in the game and I was like, in your face, Julia, I'm saving Mike. It's harder than you think. He died.
Who'da thunk? There's a part of me that is like, no, not again. And another part of me is like, yes, you couldn't save him either.
Wait, I thought I did everything right. We had a strategy after he died. We had a very long conversation on how to save him.
Yeah, we talked about this for a very long time.
Yeah, and it still did not work. And now I'm doing a completionist playthrough that I'm in the middle to get all the trophies and to get a platinum trophy for Until Dawn, but I'm kind of stuck in the middle somewhere. Maybe one day I'll save Mike and it'll be in your face on the 4th try. I saved Mike.
I am so going to play that. Right now, I'm canceling all my plans that I didn't have and going to play it.
What? Wait a minute, man! I thought Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, damn it! No! Stop catching me out. Fine.
Okay, I'm sure I've forgotten to mention something, but too late now. So yeah, this has been us, the crazy episode of twisted, perpetually drunk Eastern European sisters.
Oh, we're not enforcing stereotypes or anything.
No. We're totally beyond that now. We're ascended above the stereotypes with a whole new level. For episode 103 of Big Red Barrel Geek Speak, I have been Butts. And you have been Julia.
Wait, what?
You say that, and I have been Julia.
You've been butts, have you? Okay.
Yes.
Alright, I was not aware that this is...
You know what? Excuse me. The fact that you don't know that I say I have been butts at the end of my show just shows that you're a crap friend and you've not been listening to the show.
I may have missed the last couple of episodes.
Like the last 70 episodes.
Maybe.
God damn it.
I might have not been listening to any podcasts at all, but that's a different story. Anyway, let's continue with that.
So yeah, I have been butts.
And I have been Julia.
And we bid you goodbye. Bye.
Adieu.
Butts.
You and your ears are quite welcome for the podcasting goodness that you just heard. Why not roll on over to BigRedBarrel.com for more podcasts, news, reviews, and videos from the biggest, reddest site on the internet, BigRedBarrel.com.